All right, so this is what the printer looks like from a distance, and it's quite resemblance to the ever so popular Ender 3. I think that kind of created this whole style of printers. So yeah, on the top here we have the spool holder, pretty generic. Our spool will go on here, and then the filament will go to the extruder. We got 20/20 channel on the top, 20/40s on the side, another 20/20 for the x-axis. So yeah, pretty standard build here. The frame overall does feel pretty rigid as it is all metal. Let's take a closer look at the hot end. So we got wiring going in there, a PTF tubing, pretty interesting looking cover with the logo, our heat break fans in there, and then our cooling fans on this side. And underneath we can see the nozzle and the heat block, which is insulated, and the cooling duct. So our x-axis in stop is over here. I love the belt tensioners, very easy to adjust. Going down, our Z-axis switch is here. We got a perforated build plate that's glass with a volume of 220 by 220 by 250. So what's great about this kind of build plate is that when it heats up, the filament sticks, and then when it cools off, print just pops off. So we do have these two tabs that hold the build plate to the aluminum part, which is the heated bed, and it's not insulated, which is not a big deal for this size bed. Looks like we got some pretty decent springs and large adjustable knobs. 4 rollers, 2 on each side, which the bed rolls on this 40/40 channel, and also the white belt here is adjustable. Here we had a sticker of how to reach the company and also the manufacturing label. Right below that we have the micro SD card slot and also the USB connection. Very nice large rubber feet on 4 corners. And over here we have the horizontal display, which is quite interesting that they decided to do this. It does take up a little bit more room, but it is quite unique and I kind of like it. So here we are looking at the back side. You guys can see our extruder assembly with the coupler we installed in the tube. Again, I wish this assembly here was metal, but it is easily upgradable. Also, I do like the fact that this spring here is adjustable, how much tension is on the arm. So yeah, it's a pretty good design. I just wish it was metal. You can see where our cable clips here for organizing. So this is our extruder motor, then our x-axis motor here, and this is our lead screw with the brass bushing. And going down, we have the coupler to the z-axis motor. So going down from there, we can see we got wiring to the bed, and it is strain relieved, which is nice to see. And also this other larger wire that kind of travels and then goes underneath the printer. Also, they are using end caps everywhere, so you don't cut yourself on the edges. Very good detail. On the very back here, we can see we have the on and off switch and our power in port, which is fused. Here we have the Y motor and this encasing here with the Y in stop switch being right here. And you can remove this if you need to look at your belt there and your pulley, which there are 2 little bolts that you got to take out to remove this cover. And probably the most important part is our voltage selection in the back here that you need to not forget to check. Make sure it's set on the correct voltage that is in your country. So whatever's closer is what you choose for. So if you got, let's say 240, then you go to 230. And if you got 120, then you'll go to 115. But yeah, definitely remember to check that before you power it on. And here from the back, we can see all the rollers and how they, go around the channels, and also the hot end here. And then these rollers here too. So and while we're back here, guys, so I don't forget, if you feel like your lead screw is completely dry, like mine is, I think is completely dry. I mean, there is maybe a tiny amount of oil from the manufacturing, but you want to put some kind of grease on there, whatever you have. So I do have some of this all-purpose white grease, so I'm just going to add a little bit on there throughout the lead screw, and you don't need a lot, just a little bit. I'm just going to rub it with my finger a little bit so it kind of evenly spreads. And then whenever we run this thing up and down, which we can probably go ahead and just push it. Yeah, look at that. So it's going to get much better. Yeah, I can already feel it's much smoother once it hit that grease. So yeah, you definitely want to grease it because you'll get, a really nice smooth motion. As you guys can see, I can just push it up and down. And I mean, it's perfect, literally. So, you don't have to get it to this perfection, but, as close as possible is great. So yeah, guys, overall, I think it's a pretty nice printer. It's definitely, very resemblant of the Ender 3. So I can't wait to see how it performs, because if it does just as good, this might be a great value. For anyone that's, kind of on a tight budget, this could be a good option if it can produce the nice prints. But I do like the overall feel and the build construction. It's quite solid. All right, so I got the printer plugged in the back. Let's go ahead and hit the power button there. And it does power on. You can see it's booted up. Wow, pretty quick actually. And we do have a fan running here. So right off the bat, the screen is nice and bright. We got a white background. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. So it is quite vibrant, which I definitely like. So all our navigation is going to be on this knob here. So this is the main home page. And on the side here, we have the branding, hot end temperature, and our bed temperature in Celsius. The first one's print, and that's going to be reading the SD card. And then we have control here. These are going to be all of our controls for the printer. So we got move, disable steppers, out of home, set home offsets, preheat PLA, and automatic unload. So we go all the way up, or we can go back. By clicking this knob, you select it. Let's go to settings. Here we got temperature. Click on that. You can adjust the nozzle, the bed, fan speed, things like that. So, and also preheating is here too. And then we got motion here. So this is more advanced settings. Filament detection, we can turn that on and off. And this printer doesn't have a filament detector. So and we got reconfiguration, language selection. So let's see what we got here. Okay, Chinese or English looks like. So hopefully we can find that again. Okay, yeah, so it's in China now and English. So yeah, there's only Chinese or English in the set. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And then you got reset configuration. So very basic and everything you need. And here we have info, which is going to be about the machine, the printing volume, firmware version, the website for the company, and their email. All right.